The principle of square roots. Principle of square roots. What does it say is, so if you're given something like, I say, if you're given x square is equal to k. If you're given x square is equal to k, this is given to you in the question, x square is equal to k. I say find the value of x. I say if k is any number, 5, 6, 7, 8, k can be any number. But you're given x square is equal to k. I say you have to find the value of x. How do you find the value of x is, you will take square roots on both sides. Note in the question there was no square root. But to solve, you will take square root on both sides. You yourself to solve it. And then what you're going to do is, on one side you will put a plus minus sign. Since you are taking square root yourself, it's not in the question. You are taking square root yourself, you will put a plus minus sign on one side. What will happen? In this case, square and square root will cancel. You are left with x is equal to plus minus square root of k, which is basically, you can separate and write it. First you can take the plus sign and then you can take the minus sign. Example, if I say solve x square is equal to 25. I say find the value of x which will satisfy this equation. So you have a square term on one side and a constant on the other side of the equal to sign. Then what you're going to do is taking square root on both sides. Opposite of square is square root. Take square root on both sides. Now you will take square roots on both sides. Square root of 25. Note, in the question there was no square root. You yourself are taking square root, so you're going to put a plus minus sign always. In this case, square and square root gets cancelled. You're left with just x is equal to plus minus square root of 25. Let's separate them. You get x is equal to square root of 25 positive and x is equal to negative square root of 25. Which is square root of 25 is just factors of 25, 5 times 5. Here also factors of 25, 5 times 5. Since it's square root, from each pair you take out 1. Negative 5. That's how you solve it. If you are done, I want you to solve y square is equal to 64. Solve this. Y square is equal to 64. I want you to find the value of y which will satisfy this equation. Do it right now. And I want everyone's video on. Please turn on your videos, everyone. Fernando.
Yes.
How will you solve this one? Y square is equal to 64.
We'll start off like the other one. You cross out the square, and then you're left with the plus or minus square root of 64.
Okay. Then?
Plus or minus 64 equals... and then you do, is it y equals positive 64 and then y equals negative 64?
What's the square root of 64?
8, right? Top of my head.
Yes. So it's y is equal to 8 and y is equal to negative 8.
4.
Anyone has any questions with these two problems? Make sure you understand these two problems because it's going to just get complicated further. You should understand these problems. Let's do another kind of problem. You are given solve, it says solve 3x square is equal to 6. It says give exact solutions and approximate to 3 decimal places. So now you are given 3x square is equal to 6. Don't say, oh, the square term is on one side, the constant is on the other side, and we take square root. No, first you have to take all the constants on the other side. The square term, you will just the square term. That means x square only. The square term you will keep on one side, everything else will be taken on the other side. Jesus?
Yeah.
Okay, how do I take it on the, can you turn on your video?
I don't know. I have to check if the drivers work on my computer. I have to update them.
Okay, so I want to take these 3 on the other side. How do you do it?
You just divide by 3 on both sides.
Yes, you get x square is equal to 2. How do I solve?
Then you just find the square root.
Yeah, I take square root on both sides. When you take square root, what do you do?
Then you cancel out the x squared.
Whenever you do take a square root yourself, it's not in the question, you put a plus minus sign.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you always put a plus minus sign.
So what does it become? It becomes x is equal to plus minus root 2.
Yeah.
Then what do you do?
Then you just separate them.
Yeah, so it becomes x is equal to root 2 and x is equal to negative root 2.
Negative root 2.
What's the square root of 2?
I have to do it. Let me grab my calculator.
Since we don't know, you have to use the calculator. So how do you do it is square root. Square root is just above the square here. There's a square root sign here. So you press second.
I got it.
Yeah.
It's 1.41.
So it is basically 1.41. They say up to 3 decimal places. So 1.41.
Yeah, because it's 1.414.
Yes. So, and here it will become x is equal to negative 1.414. One will be a positive answer, one will be a negative answer.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Do we need to round up or down in the homework, or is it just going to ask first?
They will ask, like in the question they ask here, approximate up to 3 decimal places. They will ask in the question also. In the homework also they will ask you how much they want.
Okay. So if it was for example, if it's 1.4145, should we round it up to 1.415?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Just round up then. If it's 4 or higher, right?
Exactly.
I mean 5 or higher.
5 or higher, yes. You round up. Yes. You're correct. Let's do one more example. So you are given solve minus 5x square plus 2 is equal to 0. You have to solve this. Okay. Brett?
I'm here. Let me just write it down really quickly.
Sure.
So first, would you start out subtracting 2 from both sides?
Yes. You get minus 5x square is equal to negative 2.
And then would you divide it by negative 5?
Yes. So you get x square is equal to 2 over 5.
Sorry, I'm just writing it down. And then from there, would there be you would square them, right?
Yeah, square root on both sides.
And then there would be a plus or minus on the front of the 2/5.
Okay.
And then not sure what to do from there.
So what happens here? What
You
does
could
this
write
do?
it would be x is minus square, or the square root would cancel on the x. So then it would be plus 2 square root of 2 fifths and minus square root of 2 fifths.
Okay, you got this thing. Now what you're gonna do is here, let's separate the square root. In the numerator I write it like this, in the denominator I write it like this. I just separate the square root.
Okay.
Now I don't want a square root in the denominator. How do you get rid of square root in the denominator?
You multiply it, right?
Yes, you rationalize, yes. And what do you multiply with?
Square root of 5.
Yeah, the same exact thing. Okay. What does it become? In the numerator, what does it become?
Would it be, would you multiply them?
Yes.
Would it be 10?
Square root of 10 over?
Square root of 10 over 25, which would be 5.
Yes, so you get square root of 10 over 5.
Square root of 25, yeah.
So basically here you'll get negative square root of 10 over 5. The same thing with the negative sign.
Okay.
Good, Brett. Really good.
Thank you.
Professor, so the final answer is 10 over 25 and negative 10 over 5?
Yes, square root of 10 over 5, yes.
Alright.
I want you to try this problem yourself right now. It says solve 3x squared is equal to 1. 3x squared is equal to 1. Solve this.
Professor,
Yes, Jordan.
I was just wondering, so why do we leave it or start as the final answer? Like, why can't we solve it anymore?
This thing?
Yeah.
How do you want to solve this?
Well, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Because I guess, like, for this, we can't take anything out.
Yes, we cannot take it out because it's 5 times 2, right? We cannot take it out anything.
Okay, because then it would just 10 over 5 would be 2 is the same answer. Okay,
Yeah,
makes sense.
yeah.
Thank you.
Try this problem, everyone. Lauren,
Yes.
do you know how to do this?
Right now, what I just did, I divided 3 by both sides.
Okay.
So I just got to square root of x squared equals plus or minus the square root of 1/3.
Okay, correct.
And then that's where I'm at right now.
Okay.
So what I would have is x equals positive 1/3 and x equals negative 1/3.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
And then I'm going to square root, or excuse me, multiply the square root of 3.
Let's separate the
Sorry.
square root first. Square root of 1 over square root of 3. Okay? Write it separately.
You multiply it by the square root of 3 over the square root of 3.
Okay. What do you get?
That's going to be, 3 over 9.
Square. On the numerator, what does it become? Square root of?
The square root of 3 over 3.
Square root of 9, which is square root, which is just 3.
3.
Okay. Here it will be the same thing, just with the negative sign. So whatever answer you got, just it will be the same thing, just with the opposite sign. Good, Lauren.
Yes. Sorry, I'm just writing this down.
Any questions, anyone so far? Let's do one more problem. Okay, you are given solve 4x square plus 9 is equal to 0. 4x square plus 9 is equal to 0. Jordan, Paolo. Not here. Cat.
Here.
Okay. So Cat, yeah. So let's see this one here. How do you solve this one?
I'm just gonna finish writing it down and then I'm gonna start solving it.
No problem.
I assume the first thing you would do is subtract 9 from both sides.
Exactly. Yes.
And then I think you would divide by 4 from both sides.
Yes. You get x square is equal to negative 9 over 4.
And then you would probably square root it on both sides.
Okay. When you do square root, what do you do?
I'm not sure.
Whenever you take square root, you have to put a plus minus sign, okay?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So what do you get?
You would get x equals plus negative or square root negative 9 over 4, and then minus square root negative 9 over 4.
Okay. So first of all, in this case, everyone, very important step here. Whenever you have negative inside a square root, you can remove that negative sign and put an I in front of it. Whenever you have a negative sign inside a square root, you can remove it and replace it with an I outside the square root. Similarly here, I had a negative inside the square root. I'm going to replace it with I, and inside will become a positive square root. And Cat, what is the square root of 9 over 4?
Would I just put square 9 over square 4?
Yes.
Okay. So quick question, would I just keep the I there throughout the whole
Yes.
equation?
Yes. I will just stay there outside. Yes.
And would I think the square root of would the
Minus.
square root of 9 be 3?
Yes. And square root of 4 is?
2.
Yes. So you get 3 2i. That's your first one. And in the second one, I told you it's the same thing, just with the negative sign in front. So it will be negative 3 2i. Again, the only important step in this is, if you have a negative sign inside the square root, you can get rid of this negative inside the square root and replace it with I. This is known as complex numbers. Complex numbers are when you have a negative sign inside the square root. So your answer is 3 by 2i and negative 3 by 2i.
What? So does the I stay with whatever the negative number was, or does it just go with it?
No, whatever it was with the negative and positive, yes, it goes. I didn't get your question. Can you tell again, Caesar?
So is it kind of like a multiplied by, or like?
You know what is I? I is actually square root of negative 1. I means square root of negative 1. So in
Okay.
this case, what happened is you have square root of
So-
negative 9 over 4, right?
Right.
I am writing it as negative 1 times 9 over 4. And
Okay.
square root of
So
negative 1
it
became I.
It stays with the 9 and not with the whole fraction, or it doesn't matter, I guess.
It does
Okay,
not
never
matter,
mind.
yeah. Let's do one more problem on this. Since I is something new to you guys, so you have 2t square is equal to 200. Or plus 200 is equal to 0. You're given this thing. 2t square plus 200 is equal to 0. Okay, Caesar, you're gonna help me with this one.
Okay. Minus the 200.
Okay.
You got 2t squared. Then you divide by 2. Gives you negative 100. And then you square root the negative 100 with the plus or minus. But you take an I out.
Yes.
So you got t equals positive I10
Yes.
or t equals negative I10.
Yes. 10i or I10, it means the same thing. Order does not matter. Good, Caesar. Okay. Next kind of questions you may get is, it says, let fx is equal to x minus 2 whole square. It says, find all values of x for which fx is equal to 7. So you're given fx is equal to this thing. They want you to find all values of x. So whatever x I put, I should get fx as 7. So replace fx as 7. You get 7 is equal to x minus 2 whole square. In this case, you cannot be like, oh, I'll add to both sides first. No, you cannot, because this minus 2 is inside the square. This minus 2 is inside the square. So you cannot take this minus 2 on the other side. First, you have to get rid of this square. Then only you can deal with the minus 2 sign. How do you do it is, first you're going to do it is, you're going to do a square root on both sides to get rid of the square and put a plus minus sign. So you get plus minus root 7 is equal to, in this square and square root get cancelled, you're left with x minus 2. Now let's separate. First I get x minus 2 is equal to positive square root of 7. Then I get x plus 2 as square root of 7. In this case, what I'm going to do is, I add to both sides. I get x is equal to 2 plus root of 7. In this case, I subtract to both sides. Oh, sorry, it's x minus 2. I'm going to add
Can
to
you
both
slow it
sides.
down a little bit?
Yeah. Okay. You want me to do this from this step again? I can explain this step again if you did not get this.
Please.
Yeah, okay. Let me light this again here. So once you, does anyone have problem till this step here? Till this step? No? Now I'm going to separate them. First I write it with positive square root, then I write it with negative square root. So I get x minus 2 is equal to positive square root, and then x minus 2 is equal to negative of the square root. I separated them. Now note, they just need the value of x. They don't need the value of x minus 2. So what you're going to do is, take this 2 on the other side. Add to both sides. So you get x is equal to 2 plus square root of 7. Similarly in this case, add to both sides. You get x is equal to 2 minus root of 7. So this is your answer. 2 plus root of 7, 2 minus root of 7. Again repeat, don't take this 2 here in the first step itself. The reason is because there is a square in front of this 2 also. This 2 is inside the square. So first step is to get rid of this square. That is how you take the square root first. Any questions with this step? I want everyone to do this problem here. It says let fx is equal to x plus 5 whole square. Find all values of x for which fx is equal to 3. Solve this. It's the same kind we did right now. Same problem. Try it yourself. Julian?
Yes.
Okay, let's see. How do you do this one?
So you make it as 3 is equal to x plus 5 whole squared.
Okay.
And then you root both of them.
Okay.
And one has the 3 has a plus or minus.
Okay.
So then it becomes plus or minus root 3 equals 2x plus 5.
Yes, correct.
And then now we make it x plus 5 is equal to 3, and then x plus 5 is equal to negative 3.
Okay.
Or is it root 3? I'm sorry.
Yeah, root 3, yes. Root 3.
And negative root 3.
Yeah.
And then we, on one side, we subtract the 5, or I'm sorry, on both sides, we subtract the 5.
Okay. What do you get? X is
And
equal
then
to?
X is equal to negative 5 root 3. Would it be plus root 3?
Plus root 3.
And then on the other one, it would be x equals negative 5 minus root 3.
Perfect. Perfect, Julian. Really good. Any doubt with this problem here? Okay. In this case, what you were given is, so what we did is, you were given some x square and you were given some constant, right? You took the x square term on one side and constant on the other side. Then you took square root on both sides, put a plus minus sign, and you got x is equal to plus minus root a. So your basically answer was positive root a, negative root a. Next kind of problem is when you get something like ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0, where a, b, c are some numbers. A, b, c are some numbers and you are given like this. And I say you have to find the value of x which will satisfy this equation. Find the value of x which will satisfy this equation. And how you're going to do it is using the quadratic formula. Memorize this. No matter what class you take, mathematics class you take, this formula will be used everywhere. Very, very important formula, quadratic formula. It's known as quadratic formula. Very important. The formula is, so first you figure out what's your a, b and c. A is the number next to x square, b is the number next to x, and c is the constant in the equation. And they are all on one side of the equal to sign. Again repeat, a is the number next to x square, b is the number next to x, and c is the constant. Okay, and the formula is negative b plus minus square root of b square minus 4ac over 2a. This is the formula. Negative b plus minus square root of b square minus 4ac over 2a. Make sure when you plug in the values, make sure to plug it in a bracket. Make sure to put a bracket. So suppose I say, example, I say here, it says solve 5x square plus 8x is equal to negative 3 using quadratic formula. You have to solve this using quadratic formula. Note, you cannot use a quadratic formula till the time everything is on one side of the equal to sign. So I add 3 both sides. It becomes 5x square plus 8x plus 3 is equal to 0. In the previous, I just had x square on one side and constant. Here I have x square and constant, but I have an extra term 8x. I have an extra term 8x. So I cannot do the way I was doing before. I have to use the quadratic formula. My a will be the number next to x square. So it will be 5. B is the number next to x. It's positive 8. And C is the constant, which is 3. Once you got this, you're going to plug in your formula. The formula is minus b plus minus square root of b square minus 4ac over 2a. Note, when you put the values, I want you to put in a bracket. So it becomes negative 8. Okay. Plus minus square root of 8 square minus 4ac over 2a. Once you got this, let's solve. You get negative 8 plus minus square root of 8 square is 64. 12 5 is 60 over, you get 10. I multiplied all these. I opened the square and I multiplied all of these. When you solve, you get negative 8 plus minus square root of 4 over 10. Before solving further, I'm going to separate them. One with a plus sign and one with a negative sign. And then you get x is equal to negative 8, negative square root of 4 over 10. Let's solve. Square root of 4 I know is 2. And negative 8 plus 2 is negative 6 over 10. Similarly, here I do is negative 8, negative 2 over 10. It becomes negative 10 over 10, which is negative 1. And if I solve this thing, it comes out to negative 3 over 5. Very important, you should know how to use this quadratic formula. This chapter, this quadratic formula is the most important topic. 11th chapter, quadratic formula, very, very important. Any questions how to use quadratic formula, anyone? Okay, let's do one more question. It says, for the quadratic function given by fx is equal to 3x square minus 6x minus 4, find all x for which fx is equal to 0. For the quadratic function is given to you, they want you to find the value of all x for which fx is equal to 0. Dylan, Joseph?
Yes.
Okay, let's see how you're going to do this one.
So you set up as 0 is equal to 3x squared minus 6x minus 4.
Okay.
Then you plug the 3x squared and negative 6x and negative 4 into the quadratic formula.
No, not the x's. Just what's your a?
Just numbers. I meant just numbers.
A is?
B is negative 6. We put that in parentheses.
C is?
Plus minus.
No. What's your A, B, and C? What's your A?
Oh, A is 3, B is negative 6, and C is negative 4.
Okay, so you get x is equal to what?
Excuse me?
Can you put in the formula and tell me what do you get the formula? X is equal
X
to?
is equal to minus -6
Plus minus.
minus -6 squared minus 4 times 3 times -4
Okay. Over?
over 2 times -4. I mean 2 times 3.
Yes. Let's solve this. Let's see what you get.
That x is equal to 6 plus minus parentheses 36 because -6 squared is 36. And I did 3 times -4, which is 12. Then 4 times -12. I mean, -4 times -12 parentheses. My bad.
Plus
But
48.
I did 36 minus 4 and then input. Okay, yeah, 48, yeah.
48. And you get 6 at the
Over 6. And then I separated them where x is equal to 6 plus root 48 over 6.
No, it's
Then-
not just root 48. It's 36 plus 48.
Oh, yeah.
You have to add that first.
So that is, that's 84.
Okay, over 6, right?
So it's root 84.
So let's separate now. You get
What did you
6.
say?
Let's separate them.
Yeah.
And then I got 6 minus root 84 over
6.
6. This whole is divided by 6. Okay. Do you know what the square root of 84?
Not at the top of my head.
Okay, let's make factors. Can you divide 84 by 2?
Yes.
2 times?
That'd be 42.
Yes. Can I divide by 2 again?
Yes.
2 times 21. Can I divide by 2 again?
No.
Then 3?
Oh, but you can't, can you?
With
Oh, yeah, 3 and 7.
3, 7. So basically the factors of 84 is you're saying 2 times 2 times 3 times 7 over 6. What can I take out?
You could take out a pair of 2s, or one pair of 2.
So what do you get?
That'll be x is equal to 6 plus 2.
And then in square root of,
Square root of 3 times 7,
which is
21.
21, okay, over 6, right? Similarly,
Yeah.
here you get 6 minus, and I know square root of 84 is 2 square root of 21. So you
Yeah.
get this thing. But you're still not done here. You can simplify this further. How you can simplify this further is separate this division sign. I divide 6 by 6 and I divide this separately. I separate this division sign. Similarly, for this problem also I separate them and then solve. What is 6 divided by 6?
1.
Okay. And when you simplify this, what do you get? 6 root 21 divided by 3. Can you divide 2 and 6?
No.
You cannot. What are the factors of 6?
2 and 3.
2 and 3. So 2 and 2 gets cancelled. You are left with 1 plus root 21 over 3. Similarly, when you solve here, 6 divided by 6 is 1. 2 root 21 over 6 factors is 2 times 3. Cancel whatever you can. You are left with 1 minus root 21 over 3. Do you get it, Dylan?
Yes.
Yeah. No, you did most of it. It's just the last part. It's new. So
Then that's the final answer.
yes, that's a final answer. Yes. Really good. Let's do one more. I want you to do this problem yourself. You're given 2x squared minus 2x minus 3 is equal to 0. Do this problem yourself right now.
Quick question, Professor.
Yeah.
I know last time we went over this, we were expected to like plug them each back in and see if one of them was right or they were both right or something.
You don't have to check. No.
Okay, so on the homework and quiz and test, it's just going to be
Yeah, you just
this.
write this and
this.
that's it. That's your answer. That's it. You don't have to check.
Okay, we just put in both of them.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Rockwell?
Yes.
So let's see how you do this one.
Okay, so let me pull this up because I have it here. So A would be 2,
Mm-hmm.
B would be -2, and C would be -3.
Okay. Let's put in the formula and tell me what you get.
So it's -2 plus or
Negative.
minus
See, it's negative
square root
formula.
of.
This negative was already in the formula. Then B is
Yeah,
negative
yeah,
2.
yeah. I was wondering. I was gonna ask, does it flip? But I thought it may not.
Yeah, that's correct. That's a very common mistake, guys, everyone here. Since B is
So it's
negative
gonna be
2,
positive.
it will change positive. Yes, it will change sign. Then you get -2 square.
-2 squared minus 4 times. Oh wait, should I just combine them, or should I just
Say
read
it,
it out
say it,
first?
say it.
Okay, 4 times 2 times -3.
Okay, over.
Oh, over 2a,
Yeah, and
which is 2 or 4. 4
yeah, 4.
over 4.
So over 4, this becomes 2. Let's solve this thing. -2 square is
4.
4. And what do you get here?
I'm sorry, that the whole thing is throwing me off. How it's just right under it. -4 times 2 is 8 times 8 is 24.
Okay, positive 24. So you get 2 plus minus square root of what?
Over 4.
Over 4. But what's inside the square root?
Oh, inside the. Oh, 28.
28. Okay. What's my next step after this?
Don't you simplify?
Yeah, you simplify. So first I separate them. Okay. Let's separate them before I simplify. Okay. So it becomes x is equal to 2 plus square root of 28 over 4 and is equal to 2 minus square root of 28 over 4. Okay. What are the factors of 28? Let's make factors of 28. Can you divide it by 2?
Yes.
2 times
14.
14. Can I divide by 2?
Yes.
2 times
7.
So it's 2 times 2 times 7 over 4. What can I take out?
A2.
And what I'm left with inside?
That's 2 and a 7.
No. You make a pair of 2,
Wait.
right?
Yeah, you're left with a 2 and a 7 though, after it, since you take out 1, 2.
No, just 7. Just 7. From this pair you took
Oh,
out
you
1,
take out
2.
the whole pair.
Yeah.
You take out, okay.
And then you're left with just divided by 4. Next step is
Yeah.
I'm going to separate this. I'm going to separate this division sign. It becomes 2 over 4 plus 2 root 7 over 4. What do you get? What is 2 divided by 4?
1/2.
1/2. And here what does it become? 2 root 7 divided by 4.
2 and 7. 1 square root of 7 over 2.
Exactly, yes. Similarly, we can do here. You said square root of 28 is 2 root 7 divided by 4. You did it already, square root of 28. Okay, and then you separate them. You get 2 over 4 minus 2 square root of 7 over 4. Simplify, you get 1 over 2 minus square root of 7 over 2. Perfect, Rockwell. Really good.
Excellent.
Any problems so far, anyone?
I had a question about the 2 that's outside of the radical 7.
Jordan, I cannot hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
So the 2 that's outside the radical of 7, and then I see that we're dividing the 2 and 4. Are you, no, the one right below that? Yeah, so we got 7 over 2, but I'm just wondering, is it just canceling out and the 1/2 is just, you don't put 1, it's just over 2?
You know how I got this here is factors of 4 is 2 times 2, right?
Yeah.
And then 1 2 gets cancelled. That's how I got here.
Okay, so cross cancellation.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Any other problem, anyone? Next kind of question you can get is, it says solve x plus 5 is equal to 2, 2x minus 1. x plus 5 is equal to 2, 2x minus 1. You have to solve this. Since we have to solve this, first I would suggest you to open the bracket. Okay, how do you solve it is, let's open it. Okay, can I, Rockwell already answered. Gerardo? Okay, Gerardo, can you help me with this opening the bracket? I need to open this bracket.
Okay.
Distribute.
So you distribute, so it's x squared plus 5x.
Exactly, is equal to
4x minus 2.
Exactly. Now I want everything to go on one side of the equal to sign.
Okay, so you just want it all on one side, right?
Yes.
Okay, so subtract 4x and then add 2.
Okay, what do you get? X squared?
X squared plus 1x minus 2, or my bad, plus 2.
Is equal to?
0.
Okay. And how do you solve this equation?
Do the same thing as we were just dealing with the quadratic formula.
Yes. So what's your A, what's your B, and what's your C?
A is going to be 1, B is going to be 1, and C is going to be 2.
Yes. Note everyone, if there is no number in front of x square, your A will be 1. There is 1 if nothing is there. Okay. And let's put in the formula. What do you get?
Let's see. So it's going to be minus 1 square root 1 squared minus 4 times 1 over 2 times 1.
Okay, let's solve this. When you solve this, it becomes x is equal to -1 plus minus square root of what?
Square root of 1 minus 8 over 2.
Okay, let's solve. What's 1 minus 8?
-7.
Okay, it's -7 over 2. What's the square root of -7? Okay, first I want to get rid of the negative sign inside. How do you get rid of the negative sign inside?
Let's do the I.
Yes, it goes I and inside becomes 7 over 2. What's the square root of 7?
Do you want like the decimal form or?
I mean, you cannot make factors, right?
Yeah.
So let's just separate.
Just say like that.
Yeah, let's just separate. It becomes -1 plus I root 7 over 2. And then -1 negative I root 7 over 2. You just separate them.
Professor?
Yeah.
I got 9, and only because when we're doing minus 4AC, there's the -4, and you're timesing that by -2. That would give you positive 3.
There is no -2, Jordan.
Yeah. Oh. Well, aren't we subtracting the 2 from the other side to get the equation?
See, it was -2. So you're adding 2.
Okay, I didn't even see that minus sign. Okay, my bad. Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah. Any questions, anyone with this problem? and you can separate them. It becomes 1 over 2 plus I root 7 over 2, and it becomes negative 1 over 2 minus I root 7 over 2. I separate the denominator and I cannot cancel anything, so this is my answer. Okay. For quadratic formula, one more problem you have is you're given f of t as 2 plus 7 over t, and you're given gt as 4 over t square. You're given these two things, okay, such that you're given ft is equal to gt. You need to find all the values of t. Since ft and gt are given equal to each other, put them equal to each other. This is your ft and this is your gt. Okay. Now there is denominators. I don't want to deal with denominators. Okay. What's a common factor between t and t square? Anyone who can tell me what's a common factor between t and t square? What's the highest common factor? Anyone? T square and t. So if you had denominator as 3 and 2, what's common between 3 and 2? Anyone? If
6.
6, exactly, it's 6. You multiply them. What if I said between 2 and 6? What is it?
2.
Common, the highest multiple. If you have to make common denominator, will you make 2 everything or you make 6? No. Okay, let me explain in the other way. If I say you have to add 2 over 5 plus 2 over 10. How did you guys add this? You made a common denominator. What's common between 5 table and 10 table is 10. So you try to make this 5 and this you multiply by 5 and you made it 10. It became 10 over 25 plus 2 over 10 and then you added. Sorry. Oh, sorry, you're going to multiply with 2. I'm sorry. So it becomes 4 over 10. So it became 6 over 10. So you multiply, you make 10 both sides. Similarly is here. You have t square and t. So when you have something like this, what does t square mean is you're multiplying t and t 2 times. That is equal to t square. So in the denominator you have t square and you have t. You're going to multiply the whole equation. You're going to multiply the whole equation with the highest power. Since I have here t square as the highest one. Here I had t square and t to the power of 1. T square was highest. I'm going to multiply the whole equation with t square. The reason is to get rid of the denominator. You will see we will get rid of the denominator. 2 times t square becomes 2t square. 7 times t square becomes 7t square over t, and this becomes 4t square over t square. Now if we try to simplify this, it becomes 2t square. 7t square is basically t times t over t. Here also you have t times t over t times t. What happens? 1t gets cancelled, 2t gets cancelled. You're left with 2t square plus 7t is equal to 4. Okay, anyone who did not understand here till here?
I don't understand how, I know you're talking about like using the biggest number in the equation, and then, but how did you just like figure out what the denominator would be?
Okay, so, okay, I'd say, so t is any number, right? T is any number, okay? I say, I assume t is 2, okay? I assume myself. On the side to see what I'm going to multiply with, I assume t is 2. So what does t square become?
4.
4. Which one is higher, t or t square? So you're going to multiply whole thing with t square. Okay, if I had t cube, you assume it will be 8. So I will multiply whole thing with t cube. The higher one.
How does that give you the 10?
Where is the 10? Oh, this thing?
Yeah, when you were writing.
Don't get confused. This was, I was trying to explain, but don't get confused. I was trying to explain.
Sorry, I think I just got a little mixed up in it.
I was trying to explain why I'm multiplying by t square, not t.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. This is important. This question, only this step is important. Anyone who did not understand how to reach this part here. Okay. Once you did this, again, you can solve using quadratic formula. Take everything on one side. So you get 2t square plus 7t minus 4 is equal to 0. Use quadratic formula and find the answer. Jose? Brian? Jose, Brian? Not yet. Daniela?
Yes.
Daniela, yes. Let's use quadratic formula for this. You'll get t is equal to?
Huh?
Use quadratic formula on this thing.
So it's gonna be like negative 7 plus and minus, and then it's this the thing 49. Oh, I mean like 7 over. I forgot what it's called, but yeah, okay. And then it's one second. And it's plus 32.
Minus 4ac over 2a. So you are saying it's minus 7 plus minus square root of 49 plus 32?
Yeah, it's 32. 49 plus 32.
Which is?
49 plus 32. It's 81.
Okay, over 4. Okay. What is square root of 81?
That's 9.
Okay, 9 over 4. Okay. Now before adding or subtracting, we have to separate them. Negative 7 plus 9 over 4. Negative 7, negative 9 over 4. What is negative 7 plus 9 over 4?
It's 1 or 2.
Yeah, so it is 2.
It's 1/2.
Yeah, it's 1/2. And factors of 4 is 2 times 2, 1 or 1 cancel. If nothing is left, you're left with 1. Okay. Similarly here, what is negative 7, negative 9?
It's negative 1/2.
No. Negative 7, negative 9.
Is there a negative one now?
Negative 16, right? Negative 16 over 4 is?
Right. No, it's negative. Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. Negative 4.
Perfect. Yes. You get 1/2 and negative 4. Good. Any questions with quadratic formula, anyone? Okay. The next thing we are doing is we are doing is something known as discriminant. Discriminant. It's basically the same thing we've been doing in quadratic formula. Remember we had in the quadratic formula b square minus 4ac. Okay. This thing is the formula for discriminant. Okay. What does it say is, basically I'm going to take whatever is inside the square root. In the quadratic, this was your quadratic formula. Remember? This is your quadratic formula. So what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to consider for discriminant, I'm just going to consider whatever is inside the square root. So minus 4b square minus 4ac. Okay. When you are solving this, okay, you solve all this and you get this whole value equal to 0. That means you will have only one solution, and that solution will repeat. So if what they're saying is, you're going to solve whatever is inside the square root, and if you get it equal to 0, that means you will have only one solution, and that solution will repeat itself. If after solving this whole thing you got 2, so that means your answer will be 2 and 2 twice. The same answer will be twice if your discriminant is equal to 0. If your discriminant is greater than 0, if it's positive, you will get 2 real answers. Real answers means it could be any number. It could be any number. Okay. Next thing is, if you have a negative number, you will get 2 complex answers. Complex answers means with I. You're gonna get with I, because that's true. You will get with I. The reason is because I told you, if you have a negative number inside a square root, like negative 64, what you do is, negative you replace with I, then you are left with the 64, you get negative iota 8. So these are known as complex numbers. You will get 2 answers which are complex numbers. Okay. This is the difference between discriminant. Discriminant just tells me what kind of answer I'm gonna get. Example, let's do example. It says, for each equation, determine the type of number the solutions are and how many solutions exist. Determine the type of the solutions are and how many solutions exist. So you have to tell what kind of solution it is and how many of the solutions exist. Example. So they say 9x squared minus 12x plus 4 is equal to 0. They are not asking you to find the value of x or find the solution. They're just asking you how many will be there and what kind of solution will you have. So in this case what you're going to do is figure out your A, figure out your B, figure out your C. And you will just find b square minus 4ac. Let's solve. B is negative 12 square minus 4, A is 9 and C is 4, which is 144 minus. Guys, if you want to use calculator for this, use calculator directly. You can use calculator directly here if you want to use. Let me show you how to use calculator in case you guys want to use calculator. So first in a bracket you're going to put 12. This symbol here, this cap symbol, it is raised to power. So this means raised to power whatever number you want to put, 2. Okay, press enter. You got 144. In that you subtract. So in that you can do it is, so you can do this. One answer minus, okay, and in bracket you can multiply all of them. 4 times 9 times 4. And see, you get your answer. You get your answer as 0. So it will basically come out to be 144 and it will come out to be 0. So you can directly use your calculator to find the answer also. So in this case, my b square minus 4ac is coming out to be 0. What type of solution it is? You will get only one solution. Since it is coming out to be 0, b square, only one solution, which is gonna repeat itself. Any question?
Just to double check, the formula then is the b square minus 4ac, right? That's the formula?
Yes.
Got it.
That just tells me what kind of solution. In this case, since it's 0, only one solution repeat itself, or you can say rational also. Rational means p over q, 1 over 2, 3 over 4, something like this you will get, a rational number. So if you want to write here, rational also. In case of 0, it will give you rational. Only one which is a rational number. Let's do one more example. It says x square plus 5x plus 8 is equal to 0. Okay. Joshua, Jess. Okay. Sabrina. Okay. Jordan.
Yes.
Let's see. What's your A?
A is going to be 1.
B is?
5.
C is?
8.
Find the value of b square minus 4ac and tell me what is it. Find me give me the final answer of b square minus 4ac.
This one's up. It's going to be negative 14.
You're getting negative 14?
Yes.
So, let's see.
Okay, sorry. Never mind. My bad. It's so it's gonna be 10 minus negative 32, and then that's gonna give you 22, negative 22.
So let's see. B square is 5 square minus 4ac. You get 25 minus 8 4 is 32.
Oh, okay. I didn't even. Sorry, my bad.
So what is it? 25 minus 32.
I just kind of rushed it. So 25 minus 32. That's going to give you negative 7.
Negative 7. Whenever it's a negative number, that means you will get two complex answers. Complex answers. That means with I. With I. Two complex answers with I. Whenever if you have a negative number, that means less than 0. Let's do one more example. So you have 2x square plus 7x minus 3 is equal to 0. Haley? Okay. In this case, again, Haley is not there. Savannah? Savannah not there. Martin?
Yes.
Can you give me what's the value of 4 b square minus 4ac?
Okay, so we would put 7 squared minus 4 and 2, 3 will be 49, 24.
25.
You're getting as?
Yes.
What's your answer?
25.
No. 7 square
Okay,
is 49. What is negative 4 times 2?
8.
Negative 8. Negative 8 times negative 3?
24.
Plus 24. And what is 49 plus 24?
73.
Yes, you get 73, which is a positive value. When it's a positive value, you will get two different real answers. Two different real answers. Yeah. Any questions? Okay. I'm gonna give you a break right now, and I'll see you at 11. If you have questions, stay back.
I actually had a question about so for our grades, I was looking up on like how we're being graded because it's online right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just wondering, it said that we don't get a letter grade, that it's just either like a pass or fail.
The thing is, no, you will get a letter grade, but I haven't like combined as yet the letter grades. But yeah, if you need, maybe after this test, once you're done with this test, the next test, then I'm gonna give you a letter grade.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it was saying though that like on our transcripts, so we get grades, like I have grades for all my classes right now, but like when it comes to our transcript, it's just gonna say pass or fail.
No, there'll be a grade, A, B, C, D.
Oh, okay.
There'll be a grade, yes.
Okay, well, I was just wondering.
Yeah. For other classes, it says pass or fail?
No. I have grades in those classes, like a letter grade, but when I looked it up, like as far as the San Diego, well, the district, it was saying that it just says pass or fail.
No. There'll be a grade.
Okay.
There'll be a grade, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Does our math lab kind of accumulate that grade for us as well?
No, it does not properly accumulates. The reason is if you miss some homework, it counts it as 100%.
Okay.
So I need to calculate myself, but you can calculate yourself if you want. How you can do it is, so what you can do is, so whatever homework has been assigned to you so far, add all of them. Okay. Suppose I assigned you 10 homeworks, right? Whatever grade you got, you divide it by 10.
So we add the percentages together?
Yes, exactly. And see if you see your homework was 10%, so 10%, calculate 10% of that thing.
Okay.
Yeah. But don't worry, I will be giving you, once I'm done, you will be having your test of this chapter on Monday. So
and is there going to be any opportunity to for extra credit or for retakes?
Not for the tests, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about for quizzes or stuff like that?
Homework I can do it. Homework is not a problem. Just for practice I can open it. But for quizzes, and maybe for quiz also, I'll see, I can open it at the end. I want to see how much everyone is doing.
Okay.
And maybe I'll open it at the very end when you have your final exam, before that, so you guys have time to practice those quizzes.
Okay, so let's say we didn't do good on a quiz, we have the opportunity to maybe make up one of them or make up the homework.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Sure.
Professor, do you think you can put the page that we were doing before this one?
Is it this
one?
Like
the one where you start explaining the...
Is it this one?
don't know. It has 9x squared.
9x squared.
Minus 12x.
Oh, it's here. It's here.
That one. Thank you.
Yeah.
Should I like leave at 12? Like, I mean, come so I can give you ketchup. Like, I'll bring it here. Or we'll go together. Yeah. Interesting.
We want Delta. We like Delta.
Oh wait, we're gonna have lunch?
No.
I want lunch. Yes, please. I like Delta. Oh, this is so exciting. I'm gonna get burrito.
You look for recipes for good eggs.
Eggs.
It's got so many people absent.
Good. Egg with masala. Yeah.
Yep. Can you scan these? Nikhil, wait. I have, what do you call? I'll have to teach more.
So,
Yeah, I have one more hour of session left.
Sure, sounds good.
From tomorrow, I was thinking of actually making the cake today.
Sure.
The reason is so that I can eat today and tomorrow, and then I don't want to eat from tomorrow.
Yeah.
I know tomorrow they are celebrating grandma grandpa's birthday. A short ceremony sort of thing. And in I guess with Sanjay uncle will be going away, we'll be going grandma grandpa's place. So we need to get flowers and all also.
We'll buy.
Yeah, I don't know. Should we buy? I'm thinking we should buy tomorrow morning, so it's fresh.
That's by tomorrow morning.
And then
the thing is, for tomorrow morning, I had to between 6 and 9. We have to wait for that package.
I'll be awake at from 6 o'clock to yeah. I'll be awake from 6 o'clock to till 9:30 at least. Not 8:30. 8:30 will be awake till here. Then maybe you at that time you can go, since I'll be already here.
Yeah.
Maybe you can go. No, you cannot because I'm teaching here.
Oh.
Or maybe later after that 9 we'll go and get it from the wands.
Sure.
And then we'll do it. Or I was thinking, you want to do it tonight? You want to make the garland thing tonight?
Let's make it tonight.
Yeah, we can make it so that early morning tomorrow we go and give it to them for because they like it on the anniversary too.
Yeah. So around the actual 14?
Yeah, actual 15. Tomorrow's 15 or 14?
14.
For sure. Then tomorrow is not the anniversary.
Wait, actually it is tomorrow. Sorry.
Well, you're confusing me. It's
I'm
like
confusing myself.
so yeah. So maybe tomorrow it's like we early morning we'll go. So we'll make 2 right now. We'll get something. We'll 2 make them so that they can do Hare Krishna thing, and 2 will make it for them in the evening.
And once we make it, we'll put it in the fridge, right?
Yes. No. Yeah. Tonight we'll make 2 and give it to them. Yes.
Okay.
And 2 will make it tomorrow morning for them for the evening for them to exchange. We're making 4, right? 2 for grandma grandpa for the ceremony thing and 2 for that thing. So accordingly, yeah. Okay. Also, can you make sure like that closes this because I'm gonna start teaching.
I'll close it, okay?
Yeah.
Before we are talking about Walmart, not the KFC. Okay.
Okay, is everyone back here? Okay, so the last topic for chapter 11 we are doing is, let me see here. Yeah. The last chapter is we are doing the graphing. So quadratic, you learned how to solve it. Now we are going to go to graphing of the quadratic. Graphing. Okay. First of all, there are two ways it could be given to you. There are two ways. First form is if the quadratic formula is given to you in the form of ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. If they say you have to graph this, okay, if they say you have to graph this, how you're going to graph this thing is your step 1. Step 1 is to look at your a. You're going to look at your a. Everyone, you can hear me, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, perfect.
Oh,
So you have a, okay, you're going to look at your a. If a is greater than 0, if a is greater than 0, my graph will look something like this. It's an upward facing parabola. Upward facing parabola. If my a is a positive number. If a is a negative number, it's going to be downward facing. So that's how you figure it out, how your graph is going to look. Whether it will be an upward facing or it will be a downward facing. So first step is looking at your a. Step 2 is to find your, you can, rather than putting 0, you put fx. Okay, rather than writing as 0. So given this equation, you have to graph this thing. For step 2 is, if I say you have to find y-intercept. In the equation, put x is equal to 0. You put x is equal to 0 in your original equation. So wherever you see x, you put there 0. Once you put it equal to 0, you will get y is equal to some b. So your y-intercept will be 0b. That's how you find your y-intercept. You put your y is equal to b, and that and then your point will be 0b. Step 3, an important step, vertex. How to find the vertex? Vertex is this point, either the lowest point or the highest point. How do you find the lowest and the highest? If it's downward facing, vertex will be my lowest point. If it's upward facing, if it's downward facing, my vertex will be the highest point. If it's upward facing, it will be the lowest point. And how do you find it is, you will find negative b over 2a. So you will find what's your a, what's your b, what's your c, and put in the formula negative b over 2a. Whatever an answer you get, suppose 2, you will substitute 2 in your original equation and find the value of y. This coordinate will be your vertex. Step 4, there is axis of symmetry. Axis of symmetry will be basically x is equal to this first coordinate of the vertex, negative b over 2a. So it will be a straight line. Okay. Step 5, x-intercepts. How do you find x-intercepts is, put y is equal to 0 and use quadratic formula. Let's do an example. Let me see this. Okay guys, okay, so if I say you are given, suppose 2x square plus 3x plus 5 is equal to fx. You are given this thing, 2x square plus 3x plus 5 is equal to fx. Okay, if I say, okay, let's step 1. Okay, Christina?
Yes.
Okay, what's your a?
It is 2, b is 3, C is 5.
Yeah, in the first step, I just need to look at the A. Okay, is it a positive number or a negative number?
It's positive.
Positive. When it's positive, what happens?
It's a U.
Yeah, it's U. It's upward facing. It's gonna be U. Here. Okay. Let's see step 2. Okay. Eric not here. Carlos.
Yes.
For step 2, I need to find my y-intercept. How do you find your y-intercept?
Isn't it 3x?
It's opposite. For y-intercept, you put x is equal to 0. For x-intercept, you put y is equal to 0. So in this case, you're gonna put x is equal to 0. Wherever you see x, you put there 0. Fx is basically y only. When you solve, what do you get, Carlos?
So for the first one is 2 squared, right?
2 times 0 square. Because wherever I see x, I put there 0. For y-intercept, you put x as 0.
Okay.
Okay, I put in the original equation, wherever I see x, I put there 0. Now let's solve. What is 0 square?
Is 0.
0, okay. 3 times 0 plus 5 you get. What is 2 times 0?
0.
Okay, 0. 3 times 0?
0.
Plus 5 is equal to y. What do you get your y as?
5.
And how do you write your y-intercept?
0, 5.
Exactly, 0, 5. So if I start graphing here, 0, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is my y-intercept. Good. Okay, let's see step 3. Chanthon.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes. So this is a formula
Hello?
for vertex, okay? Okay.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yes, yes.
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me, Chanthon?
Hello?
Hello, Chanthon?
We can hear you. I don't think we can hear the professor.
Professor, are you muted?
No. You cannot hear me?
I can't hear you. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
I can hear you.
I think it's a problem with Zoom.
Yeah, I think it's
I can't hear the professor either.
Wait.
We can all hear
I
you.
bet.
Okay, can you
Yeah,
guys
I bet if you mute yourself, we'll be able to hear the professor again.
Can you guys hear me or no?
Okay, I can hear you now.
Oh, okay. Perfect. Okay.
Okay, so for the vertex, it would be negative
What's your B?
3.
Okay. Over 2. What's your A?
We still can't hear you, professor.
Over.
You cannot hear me?
I still can't hear you.
It's because it's only allowing one of you to speak. So if you mute yourself, the professor's gonna speak. If she mutes herself, you're gonna speak.
Oh wow. Okay.
I don't know why.
Okay, Chanthon. Then you don't answer
Okay,
this
now
one.
Okay, I can hear you. Okay.
Wait. Okay. Can you hear me now? Okay. So yeah. So Chanthon, it's okay. Let me do it. I'll do this problem. It's okay. Yeah. So you have the formula is negative b over 2a. So your b is 3. So it becomes negative 3 over 2 times 2. First you're going to solve this thing. But when you solve, you get negative 3 over 4. You cannot solve this further. So what you're going to do is, you're going to pick this and put in the equation here. Wherever you see here, x, you're going to replace x with negative 3 over 4. So what does it become? For this value, what you're going to do is, wherever you see x, you're going to put there negative 3 over 4 square. Plus 3, negative 3 over 4. Plus 5 is equal to fx. And then solve. You get 2 times 9 over 16 plus, sorry, negative 9 over 4 plus 5 is equal to fx. And I took a difficult question here. I took a one with had fractions. I mean, you should know, but it's okay. So it becomes 2 times 9, 18. 18 over 16 minus 9 over 4 plus 5 is equal to fx. Don't worry, you will not get questions like this in fractions. It's just that somehow I picked up a question which was fractions.
Professor?
Yeah.
Where did the 2 and the square come from?
This thing?
Yeah,
Okay.
just like when you the 2. Yeah, where did
See
that
here, you got this thing, right? Negative 3 over 4.
Yeah.
Now
I understand. I just don't understand the square and the.
it came from this formula here.
Okay, from the formula.
The original question. I am replacing the x with negative 3 over 4, which I found out right now in the original equation. In the original equation, I am putting that value.
Oh, so we're just plugging everything back.
Yes, exactly. We are plugging in the original question. So once you got this, you have to solve. When you simplify this, it becomes 9 over 8 minus 9 over 4 plus 5 is equal to fx. And you're going to multiply the whole equation with 8. Simplify. It becomes this 8 and this 8 cancels. You're left with 9. When you multiply with this, you get 18. And when you multiply with 9 5 size, 8 5 size 40. You get fx. So you get 49 minus 18 is equal to fx. 131 is equal to fx. Actually, you have to make common denominator. So you got this as your vertex. That means my graph somewhere will be negative 3 over 4 if you convert into decimals. If you are confused between fractions, convert into decimals and then do it. If you don't understand fractions, convert into decimals and then do it. Okay, so negative 3 over 4 is negative 0.7 something and 31. I took a wrong question. I should have taken an easy question. This is gonna be tough for you. Guys, let's skip this one. This is gonna be tough for you. This question is tough for you. I picked up the wrong question. I should have picked up the easy one first. Okay, let's see. Let me, just a second. Give me a second. I'll pick up the easy one. Okay, guys, don't do this question. Okay, this was a tough question. Don't do it. It is the same method, but it's just gonna be a tough one because it's dealing with fractions, and I don't want you to go into, because you are not doing, your syllabus according to your syllabus. You're not supposed to go in that much details. So I would suggest for you the equation will be given in the form of a x minus h whole square plus k. So forget about this thing. You don't have to remember. You can cancel this thing. The ones which I gave you, you can cancel this part. You don't have in your syllabus this part. It's just higher mathematics. When you do higher mathematics, you will get all this. Don't do it right now. Let me just explain you the easy ones. So when you have this thing here, so your step 1 will be the same. You look at your a. A is the number in front of x minus h whole square. If it's positive, it will be upward facing. If it's negative, it will be the downward facing. The same step as the previous one. Then step 2 is, it's again this same thing. For y-intercept, you're going to put x as 0. And you will get y is equal to b something, and your y-intercept will be 0b. It's the same step as the previous one. But in this case, vertex. Okay. This is important step here. Vertex. How do you figure this vertex is? See here you have x minus h, right? Whatever you are adding or subtracting here, you will change the sign of that. If you have here x plus 2, you will take negative 2. If here is x plus 3, you will take here negative 3. So you change the sign of h. Since here it was negative, I'm going to take positive for vertex, comma, and the sign of the k will remain the same. I repeat, for finding the vertex, what you're going to do is, you're going to change the sign of h here. You're going to change the sign of h. If it's negative, you will make it positive. If it's positive, you will make it negative. But for k, you will keep it as it is. That's how you find your vertex. Then axis of symmetry is equal to x is equal to, okay, again you have to change the sign of this h. If it's negative, you make it positive. If it's positive, you make it negative. And then so this is step 4. Step 5 is x-intercept. For x-intercept, gonna use quadratic formula.
Professor?
Yeah.
For step 2, does that say y equals b? And where is b?
0b. It's basically when you solve the equation, you will get something as bi is equal to some constant.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So let's see example here. You will understand with example. This is a very easy topic. You will understand with example here. So let's see here. So you are given fx as negative 3 x minus 3 whole square minus 5. You're given this thing here. Okay. Is Kenya here? Anthony's here. Joshua?
Here.
Okay. Joshua, what's my A?
Negative 3.
Is it positive number or negative number?
Negative.
What happens when it's negative?
Yeah.
Will it look like this or this?
U.
U, this one? See, greater than 0, positive, it will be upward U. Less than 0, it will be downward U. Since it's less than 0, it's gonna be downward facing.
Word.
Are you getting it?
Yes.
Okay. Step 2. If I say find y-intercept. For y-intercept, you will just put x is equal to 0 in the equation. So wherever you see x, put there 0. So you get negative 3, 0 times 3 square minus 5. It becomes negative 3 square minus 5. Solve. Negative 3 square is 9. Multiply. Negative 7, negative 5. Negative 32. So your y-intercept will be 0, negative 32. Any questions? Anyone who did not understand how I got this negative 32? You basically put x is equal to 0 in the original equation. Whatever you get, 0 times that thing will be your y-intercept. Step 3. Let's look at vertex. Okay. Maria?
I'm still copying the top one because you kind of cut off. I don't know if you cut off for everybody.
Okay,
I thought it was just me.
Yeah.
Oh, did you understand or no? You want me to explain this again?
Can you please? Because you cut off completely.
Okay, let's see here.
Yeah, you just said, and that's how you get negative 32, and it didn't show anything.
Oh, okay. So let's see, y-intercept, whenever you do y-intercept, put x as 0. That's what you do for your y-intercept. This was my original equation. Wherever I see x, I'm going to replace it with 0. So I get f of 0, okay, is equal to negative 3. Here I replace x with 0, negative 3 whole square minus 5. First of all, I have to solve inside the bracket. 0 minus 3 is minus 3. Okay. Then I solve minus 3 square, which is 9. Then I multiplied negative 3 and 9, which is negative 27. Then I had negative 5, which is negative 32. And how do you write your y-intercept is 0, comma, whatever you got your answer. That will be your y-intercept. What does y-intercept mean is, so this is my graph. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is my x-axis. This is my y-axis. This is my y-axis. This is my x-axis. So at 0, negative 32, it will cross. So negative 32, it will go even further down. And it will cross at that point. You don't have to know the graphing part. You just need to know how to find the y-intercept, how to find the vertex, how to find the x-intercept. Okay. Anyone who has any questions with the first two steps? Okay. Vertex. Okay. Maria, can you help with this one? Vertex?
Yes. Would it be positive 3 and negative 5?
Exactly. Yes. For vertex, note my h here is negative 3. You have to change the sign of h. If it's negative, you have to make it positive. But my k here, this will remain the same. This will remain the same. So this will be my, so this point here. Since my graph is this point here, I know is 3, negative 5. I definitely know that. Vertex is a point, this thing, the center of the U. Okay. Next thing is axis of symmetry. Is basically x is equal to, is Reese here? Joshua? Yasmin? Niza?
Yes.
Is Niza here? Yeah, okay, Niza. Can you tell me for this one, what's my axis of symmetry? X is equal to? What's your h here? What's your h here?
What's that?
What's your h here? What's the value of h? So the formula is a x minus h whole square plus k. This is the general formula, right? What's your h here? Compare.
5.
Compare these two. It is?
5.
No, it's not 5. 5 is outside. It's k. Negative 5 is k. Inside with x. X minus h. So x minus 3. So what's your h? Compare.
I'm confused. You're asking what h is, and isn't that negative 5?
That's k. See, this is k. Negative 5 outside. Are you seeing this outside plus k? Here it is outside the square. Outside the square is k. Inside the square root, that's your h. So in this case, inside is negative 3. That's your h. But you have to change the sign. So it will be positive 3. So axis of symmetry will be x is equal to 3. What does axis of symmetry means is a line which goes exactly from the middle. This middle line will be x is equal to 3. A line going exactly from the middle of the graph. That is known as axis of symmetry, because this side of the graph and this side of the graph will be exactly the same.
Okay, so do you switch them?
Yeah, you have to
Negative 3 and negative 5?
Only the h. Only the negative 5 will remain negative 5. Only the sign of the h you change.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is your axis of symmetry. And step 5 is x-intercept. For x-intercept, that's easy. You just use quadratic formula. Quadratic formula, or you can, or the way we did before. How you solve this thing is you put y is equal to 0. So you get 0 is equal to negative 3 x minus 3 whole square minus 5. And how do you solve this is add 5 both sides. We did this the first thing today. you get 5 is equal to negative 3 x minus 3 whole square. Then divided by negative 3, you get 5 over negative 3 is equal to x minus 3 whole square. Then you will take square root. You get 5 over negative 3 is equal to x minus.
Little bit, Professor.
Yeah, Julian?
Do you think you could slow down just a little bit?
Yes, I'll slow down, yes. Let me do this thing again here. So we did this already here previously, so you got here. So when you put 0, you get negative 3 x minus 3 whole square minus 5. I'm doing this again, but I'll go slower. I need to keep the square term on one side. I need to take everything else on the other side. So I add 5. I get 5 is equal to negative 3 x minus 3 whole square. Then this negative 3 is extra. It's multiplying. I divide both sides with negative 3. So it becomes 5 over negative 3 is equal to x minus 3 whole square. Now I need to get rid of the square. So opposite of square is square root. So you take square root on both sides. But note, whenever you take square root, you have to put a plus minus sign. So put a plus minus sign in front of the square root. So you get plus minus square root of 5 over square root negative square root of 3 is equal to x minus 3. I told you, so let's separate them. You get x minus 3 is equal to square root of 5 over square root of negative 3, and then you get x minus 3 is equal to negative square root of 5 over square root of negative 3. Rationalize. I told you cannot leave square root in the. Okay, first let's take out the negative sign. So you get, I told you whenever you have inside a square root, you can make it into positive by taking out an I. Or if you want, you can directly rationalize also. It's up to you. You want to rationalize or you want to do it. You do rationalize on both sides. It becomes square root of negative 15 over 3. And here it becomes x minus 3 is equal to negative square root of negative 15 over 3. That's how you rationalize x minus 3. You can move, so it becomes x, you add 3 both sides, it becomes 3 plus, I take out the I outside, you get root 15 over 3. Similarly here, I add 3 both sides, I get x is equal to 3 minus I root 15 over 3. Don't worry, you will not get this complicated x-intercepts. It's just that you should know how to find your x-intercepts, y-intercepts, vertex, symmetry of, axis of symmetry, and how my graph is gonna look. But this is what we did today. It's basically the same thing we are doing. I'll do one more example with you. Don't worry, we'll do one more example. So let's see here. So you are given, it says graph hx is equal to half x minus 3 whole square plus 6, and find the vertex and minimum function value. Graph hx is equal to this thing and find the vertex and minimum function value. So in this case, what you're going to do is Okay. First, you're gonna tell what's your A part. Step 1. Your A. First, you're gonna tell your A for graphing. Okay. Christina?
Yeah, A is 1/2, so it's upward facing.
Yeah, it is 1/2, which is greater than 0. That means it's upward facing. I know my graph is gonna look like this. Now I'm gonna graph. They are asking graphing, so I'm gonna graph it properly here. This is Mantis. Okay. Step 1, basically I cannot graph anything. It just tells me how my graph is looking. Step 2, Martin.
Yes.
What do you do for step
The
2?
y-intercept.
The y-intercept. How do you find it?
We make all the values of x 0.
Yes, x as 0, you get y is equal to half x 0 minus 3 whole square plus 6. Which is, what is negative 3 whole square?
9.
9 plus 6. What is 9 over 2?
9 over.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Is that a B or a 6?
It's 6. It's 6. This is 6, guys. This is 6. I'm sorry.
Oh, I think it's
9 divided by 2 is? Convert into decimals. It's okay.
I can hear you.
Convert into decimals.
Oh, 4.5.
Yeah, 4.5 plus 6 is?
6, 10.5.
10.5. So your word y-intercept is 0 comma 10.5. So let's see here. I make it 2, 4, 6, 8. I take a scale of 2. 10.5 will be here somewhere. So this point is my first y-intercept. This is my y-axis, this is my x-axis. Since I'm finding y-intercept, it will be on my y-axis. Okay. Next thing is step 3. Step 3. Savannah, Haley, Jordan. Jordan.
Yes. Did you say Lauren?
No, Jordan.
Oh.
Jordan Amari.
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell me what's my step 3?
So for step 3, we're gonna find the vertex.
Okay, what's my vertex?
The vertex is going to be so H.
And what's the H?
And for H, that's going to be.
I cannot hear you, Jordan.
Positive 3.
It's very slow. Can you?
Sorry, I can't hear you.
I can hear you, but it's very low. Can you speak a little bit louder?
Yeah. So for H, it's gonna be positive 3.
Okay. And your K is?
Positive 3, and then for K, it's gonna be 6.
Yes. So your vertex is 3, 6. So that means you have to go 3 on X and 6 on Y. So let's see. This is 2, 4, 6, 8 also. 3 on X and 6 on Y. So this is my vertex here. This is my vertex here. So it's going to be something like this. I know my graph is going to go upward like this. Okay. Let's see the next step. Okay. Sabrina. Joshua is not it. Daniela.
What?
Yeah, Daniela. Is Daniela here?
Yeah.
Yeah, Daniela. What's my step 4? Axis of symmetry. What's my axis of symmetry?
It's 3.
No, it's just is 3. So that means here x is equal to 3. On x is equal to 3, there will be a straight line. Make a straight dotted line. This will act like a mirror. This will act like a mirror. Whatever is on this side will be exactly same on the other side. This axis of symmetry acts like a mirror. Step 5. Step 5 is you have to find x-intercept. X-intercept. And how do you find x-intercept? Guys, if you know here, x-intercept means it's gonna cross my x-axis. It's gonna cross my x-axis. But if you see, my graph is gonna go like this, right? It's gonna cross, and I know it touches this point and turns around from the vertex. I know my graph is gonna look something like this. If you note, it's not even touching this x-axis. So even if you use the formula, it will give you no x-intercepts. Because my graph is upward facing and it's never gonna cross the x-axis. You can use in the formula and solve it. Try to solve it. What do you get? Let's see. If you try to solve it, plus 6 is equal to 0. If you solve it, subtract 6, you get negative 6 is equal to 1/2 x minus 3 whole square. 2 is dividing. I multiply 2 both sides. You get negative 12 is equal to x minus 3 whole square. Then you take square root both sides. You put a plus minus sign. Note, whenever you have inside the square root a negative number, you don't have real answers. That's why you don't have any answer for this thing. You cannot graph it. You cannot graph complex numbers. That's the reason you don't have any x-intercepts for this specific example. And that's your graph. Whatever is on this side, the graph looks exactly same on the other side of axis of symmetry. One problem, this is the last problem for today, and you can do this problem. I want you to do this yourself. Y is equal to negative 2 x plus 3 whole square plus 5. I want you to graph it, and I'm just gonna ask what's the points. If you got this, you got graphing too. Brian is not here. Jose, Gerardo, left. Rockwell.
Yes.
Okay, Rockwell. That's my A.
A is okay. Hold on. Okay, no, A is still negative 2.
Which is negative, right? What happens when it's negative?
Is it 36? Negative 36? No, it's 36. It's 36.
How my graph will look.
Huh?
Whether it will be U or upside down U.
I can't really hear you when you're talking.
See here, if it says A is positive, then it will be, my graph will look like this. It will be U. Okay? If it's A is negative, it will be downward facing. In this case, my A is
less than 0.
Less than 0. So it will be upward facing or downward?
Professor, we can't hear you.
Yeah, I can.
You cannot hear me? Can you hear me now? Oh, so if one of you talks, you cannot hear me. Since it's a negative number, it's less than 0, A just tells me whether my graph will be upward facing or downward facing. Correct, Rockwell? It will be downward facing. You are correct. Step 2 is y-intercept. For y-intercept, you put x is equal to 0. Put in the equation x is equal to 0. Get minus 2, 0 plus 3 whole square plus 5. Get y is equal to negative 2, 3 square plus 5. Negative 2 times 9 plus 5. Negative 18 plus 5. You get negative 13. So 0, negative 13 is your y-intercept. Step 3. Your vertex. How do you find the vertex is change the sign of your h. Note here it's 3. You will make it negative 3 and k will remain same. 5. That will be your vertex. So this point here will be negative 3, 5. When I graph it, it will be the highest point. Step 4. Axis of symmetry. Is x is equal to, again you change the sign of the h. It becomes negative 3. So basically you will have something like this graph. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So somewhere here it's gonna cross my graph. 0, negative 13. Then you have negative 3, 5, negative 3 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Suppose here it's gonna be my vertex. And at this, here it will be the imaginary thing. Imaginary axis of symmetry. This will act like a mirror. Step 5. I need to find my x-intercept. You solve. You get 0 is equal to negative 2 x plus 3 whole square plus 5. Subtract 5 both sides. You get negative 5 is equal to negative 2 x plus 3 whole square. Then divided by negative 2. In general, you will get your graph like this only. You don't even need x-intercept, but you can do it for your accuracy. But here, so if I join this side also, it will be exactly the same. And then you divide by negative 2, you get 5 over 2. Then you get is equal to x plus 3 whole square. Then you're going to take a square root yourself, put a plus minus sign. So you get x plus 3 is equal to positive 5 over 2, and then x plus 3 is equal to negative 5 over 2. You can, since this is not a perfect square, you can use a calculator and find the value, and you will get the points here, these points. Basically, first 4 steps are the most important steps. First 4 steps. Any questions, anyone? So, that's it for today, but I have a few announcements to make. So, you will have test of chapter 10 and 11. You will have chapter 10 and 11. So 11, except graphing, you will have everything except the graphing. I want to do graphing in detail. So except graphing, you will have exam of everything we did today plus chapter number 10. So you will have chapter 10 and 11 test on Monday. during the class timing, and it will be assigned during the class hours. Okay, and it will be approximately a 2-hour quiz, a 2-hour test. You have to send me the work within 30 minutes of the test. I again repeat, it will be during the class time, but you will have only 2 hours to do the test. It will be timed, only 2 hours to do the test. Okay, you can go at 9:30, you will have time till 11:30 only, but it will be during the class hours. Okay, any other questions, anyone? No? Okay, thanks guys. Next I'll see you is on next Wednesday, because Monday you have your test.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye. Bye. Have a nice
Okay.
day, guys.
Goodbye.
Bye. Have a nice day, guys.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Professor, I did really bad on the quiz.
Yeah, straight up. Can we talk about it? I did bad too.
I think
I don't know what it. I mean, I think I'm gonna do the practice questions for the next test on my math lab, but I think I'm just doing the arithmetic wrong or something, because I know how to do it. Like I did 100%. You know, I got 100% on my homework assignments.
Mm-hmm.
I just did the testing. Is like I don't know if there's any tips that you can give me to do better on the test.
Oh, so you did. Even your quiz was not good, huh? Whatever I'm gonna assign for today's homework, basically half of your test will be based on that thing also. So whatever we did today was actually a very important lecture.